Okay, good evening. My name is Jack Dearborn. I'm the chairman of the Weare Zoning Board of Adjustments. This is the September 12th meeting. And for this evening, we have two cases. We have case number 0617, a variance, and it's for Article 28.9 to impact a 25-foot wetland buffer at the map 110-70 Twin Bridge Road by GM Investment. And the second case this evening is case number 0717, variance Article 18.2.3, impact of setback requirements on 44 Dustin Tavern Road, map 411-43 by Gary Sholto in the RA zone to build a deck. And we also have a variance extension for Carl Landon at Russell Drive, map 103-18, 3335 from Article 17.1.1. Okay. With that, first order of business, since this is technically the first meeting we had since the town meeting, we have to vote for, we have to nominate and vote for chairman and vice chair. So I'd like to accept a nomination for chair and vice chair.
I'd like to make the motion to accept the nomination for Jack Dearborn as chairman and Michael Myers as vice chair.
Okay. With that said, a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And abstentions? Passes 5-0-0. Okay, at this point, let me just briefly go over how we operate the meeting here. What we do is read out so everybody knows what we're going to do this evening. I've already done that. Now what we'll do is take each case individually. And first we're going to take and ask the board if they will pass a motion to accept the application. This is only so we hear it. We want to make sure when we hear a case that is properly filled out, that it meets the intent of our minimum requirement for the information. So after that, then I would ask the applicant to come up, and the board will ask a few general questions to identify exactly why we're here. And after we're satisfied, I will ask the applicant to go through his application, essentially read their 5 points of hardship. And because we want it read out loud, it's one, it's in the record, and two, everybody at home knows what's going on, because none of this information in writing is available at this time. And after that, what we'll do is I will go around and I will ask approving abutters if they have anything to say regarding the application. I'll ask for disapproving abutters. Then I'll ask for public at large and then other boards. After that's done, the applicant has an opportunity to go back up again and rebut anything he may have heard. And I will go back through once more, approving abutters, disapproving abutters, public at large, other boards. And once that's done, I will shut down the public meeting. After that, I will entertain a motion on Article 1 of the variance, for instance, to be made in a positive. We always make the motions in positive, so yes means yes, no means no. So it's simple. So we will take each one individually. In order for a variance to pass, in this case this evening, you need all 5 yeses, meaning that if there's 5 people on the board, at least 3 people has to vote yes on each one, not the same necessarily. So if you have 5 affirmatives on the 5 questions, at that point you have your application. You can go and talk to the code enforcement officer, chip meeting, and do whatever is necessary the next day or whenever you need to do it. Minutes will be published within 144 hours. So for that, any other questions from the board? Not being. Let me ask case. Oh, by the way. Yeah.
My name is Mark Moretti. I'm a member.
I'm Stu Richmond. I'm a member.
Michael Meyer, member.
Malcolm Wright, member.
Thank you. Now this evening, for the first case, I'm going to ask the board sitting here to be the 5 members on the case. Okay. This is case 0617, and this, the applicant is Higginson Land Services on behalf of GM Investment Partnerships LLC, 92 Woodbury Road, Weare, New Hampshire. I mentioned the property already. Property description is 0.75 plus minus acres more than 50 feet frontage of Twin Bridge Road, 340 sides along the back, and the remaining 2 sides cited by residential lots. And proposed use or existing use affected. Proposed is construction of a single-family residence. And why does your proposed use require a zoning board of adjustment? Appeal to the zoning board of adjustment. To access the site is necessary to impact the wetland buffer for which the variance is needed. With that said, let me just look. There is a checklist that's checked off, 1 through 8. It appears there is the 5 points of hardship written in. We'd ask the applicant to read that. There's also a delegation letter here that delegated Dan Higginson to represent GM Investment Partners. There is a warranty deed. There is a description of this septic design, environmental services. And lastly, we have a list of abutters. Good. With that said, I'd like to ask the board for a motion to accept application 0617.
Move to accept case 0617.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a second.
I'll second.
Malcolm, you second?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Any discussion? Not? All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Abstains, 500. Okay, at this point, Mr. Gibson.
Dan Higginson with Higginson Land Services. So the lot it's on Twin Bridge Road, relatively small, and the reason that we're here is because there's a brook that parallels Twin Bridge Road that prevents access to the site without impacting the buffer. We've been to Department of Environmental Services Subsurface Bureau to get approval for a septic design, as well as Wetlands Bureau for approval to install a 48-inch culvert, which would be buried a foot in the ground so that there's a natural bottom on it for all the natural woodland critters that want to go through it. It's been designed to impact the wetland in the least amount possible, and we've gotten those approvals.
So this is a non-standard lot for size?
Correct.
Okay.
An existing lot of record.
Thank you. Alrighty. Any questions from the board before we start, so we kind of know what's going on? Okay, well, you may proceed on item 1.
Do you want me to read it and then you'll vote on them, or
We want you to read it. We will discuss each one.
after each point stops so you can discuss?
Yes.
Okay. Granting of the variance will not be contrary to the public interest because we're seeking adequate access to the site. Adequate access to the site. The lot fronts on Twin Bridge Road, which is where access is sought. For this access, the wetland buffer will have to be impacted as it runs through the entire frontage of the lot. Providing access to the lot is consistent with all other lots in the area, therefore not contrary to the public interest.
Okay, just so I understand, looking at your map, the entire width of the 50 feet will impact, am I correct? I mean, the wetland goes right through the driveway.
Correct.
Okay, so you're asking for, how wide of an impact are you going? Do you have a dimension there anyways? What's the width of the impact? Not across the driveway, but along the driveway.
Culvert is 32 feet, so from this point where a temporary impact is going to be to the outlet, probably going to be a little over 50 feet.
What's the road frontage?
The road frontage is 50 feet, but the culvert's on an angle, so that the 50 feet of culvert leaves a little bit of room on either side of the property
Well,
line.
good, that's what I'm asking. Along the width, we know you're going 50 feet across.
Okay.
How long across here? How much disturbance going along the length of the driveway are you impacting it? Want to take a scale or whatever?
Well, I'm just looking at it because the impact is within the wetland, so it would be the full width of the buffer on,
Right.
on either side. So it would be the 25 feet on either side.
Okay,
Because the driveway's gonna go,
okay, I just wanna know. what
Yep.
it is, okay. Thank you. Once you do, any questions on number one, we'll go on to number two. I answered you correctly. Go through the next one. We do it at the end.
okay, the variance requested will not be contrary to the spirit of the ordinance, because the spirit of the ordinance is to protect jurisdictional wetlands, not to prevent land from being developed. Denial of the variance would prevent access to the lot. The proposed access was located at the point of least impact to the wetland buffer. The crossing has been designed in compliance with New Hampshire Fish and Game Department and the Natural Heritage Bureau recommendations. That through granting relief by the variance, substantial justice will be done. Substantial justice is done when the benefit to the landowner far outweighs the burden to the general public. In this instance, that is the case. Denial of the variance would prevent development of the lot. Approval of the variance would allow the use of the lot that complies with town regulations. That granting the variance, the values of the surrounding properties will not be diminished. The variance only pertains to the access to the site. All developed lots in town have site access. Proposed is construction of a single-family residence similar in nature to the surrounding properties. And please describe the special conditions of your property that distinguish it from other properties in the area. The special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area is that a wetland buffer exists along the entire frontage of the property, preventing the developable portion of the lot from being accessed. Please indicate how, owing to the special conditions identified above, no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property. The general purpose of the ordinance is to protect wetlands. Our proposal has the least impact to wetlands and was designed in accordance with the New Hampshire Fish and Game Department and Natural Heritage Bureau recommendations. And how the provided use is a reasonable one, or how the proposed use is a reasonable one. The proposed use is reasonable because it's consistent with every developed lot in the zone. The issue is access to the lot. We have situated the access on the site that will have the least impact to the wetland buffer. And then on the next page, B is redundant from the first page, but please describe the special condition of your property that distinguishes it from other properties in the area. Special condition of the property that distinguishes it from other properties in the area is that a wetland buffer exists along the entire frontage of the property, preventing access to the developable portion of the lot. Please indicate how, owing to the special conditions identified above, your property cannot be reasonably used in strict conformance with the ordinance, and a variance is therefore necessary to enable a reasonable use of it. Strict conformance with the ordinance would prevent access to the buildable portion of the lot.
Good. Any questions of the applicant before I open it up for the public? Seeing none? Okay, have a seat, please. Okay, there's not many people here, but I'll ask the question anyway. Approving of others wish to speak on this behalf of this application, being nobody. Disapproving of others wish to speak, being nobody. Public allowance, being none. Other boards, being none. You're welcome to rebut if you wish. If not, that's fine.
I'll come back up in case you have any more questions for me, but,
I guess not. Have a seat.
okay.
At this point, I'm gonna close the public meeting, and we're gonna take each one of the 5 prongs, I call it, and vote on each one individually. And in order for it to pass, it needs to have at least 3 votes. With favorable. Okay, motion for prong 1, please. To accept and,
I'll make the motion to accept the first question.
Second?
thank you. Discussion. Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. And abstentions. 4-1-0. Okay? Number 2.
Move to accept Article 2, the variance.
Okay?
Second?
Thank you. And discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstains? 5-0-0. And, number 3, please.
Move to accept item 3.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? Not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And abstentions, 500. Okay, 4, please.
Move to accept number 4.
I'll second.
Thank you. And discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained, 500. And number 5 in its entirety.
Move to accept number 5 in its entirety.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? 500. Get your variance. Okay. Moving on. Second case for this evening is Gary Shelto. The applicant, address 44 Dustin Tavern Road, Weare, New Hampshire, 03281. Owner being the same, address being, this is actually, the owner is Gary and Donna Shelto Joint Revocable Trust, 224 Gould Road, Weare, New Hampshire, 03281. Property address location 44 Dustin Tavern Road, tax map 411, lot 43, rural ag zone. And basically, here's the description of the property. The frontage is 760.98. Side is 339.30. South side is 773.33, and the rear line is 1,210 and 25 feet, 11 acres. And proposed or use existing, use affected. Add a 10 by 16 deck for egress and location in the back of the house. Okay, why is your proposed use required to appeal to the zoning board of adjustment? Rear setback requirement per article 18.2.3, variance request no longer, nope, he's requesting no closer than 15 feet from the rear lot line setback. Okay, we have a checklist. This is the application filled out for July 4th hardship. We have, yes. We have a list of butters. We have a deed. We have a tax map or location. We have a diagram of a property line. We have another diagram, we can get it separate here. Excerpt of the tax map. We have an article for the variance impact. And we have Todd description, a sketch showing the dwelling location, land of Gary Shelto and Donna Shelto. Okay, this time, I'm gonna pass it around. Mike, would you mind taking a seat? Absolutely. And Donna, if you'd like to come up. Let the record show that
On a long fall, though.
Mike Myers stepped down for this case, and Don Rogers, alternate, is in place of Mike for the 5 to hear the case. Okay. You ready? Motion to accept the case.
I'll make the motion to accept.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Abstain? and no's, 500. Okay. At this point, Mr. Shelter, if you would give us a brief overview of what you want to do, if you have any additional. Looks like you got
It looks like you may already have the map of the site.
Yeah.
So, what it is it's an 11-acre parcel, and the house dwelling is set way in the back due to the wetlands that exists around it. So, there was an existing egress and ingress at the back of the house, a small 4-foot platform, which deteriorated to the point of not being safe. So, I took that down because it was unsafe, and we'd like to build a 10 by 16 deck, which would encroach on that back boundary by another 6 feet, or it'd be no closer than 15 feet. So it doesn't meet the requirement of being 25-foot setback. So that's basically the.
Do you have any photos or anything else?
I do have photos. This is the back of the property, and that's the platform that was there.
So you're putting this on the bottom off the.
No, it's on the top.
Oh, it is off the top? Okay.
This is what was existing at the property. And the stairs and the deck became, the small platform just deteriorated to the point where it wasn't safe. So now I'm requesting the variance to add a 10-foot out from the back of the house and 16 long across the back.
Is everybody okay with the description as far as understanding it? If you are, I'll move on. If you would please read in the prong number 1.
Okay, the granting of the variance will not be contrary to the public interest because the deck is in the back of the property and it won't be visible from the road or any of the abutters. The deck will be located in the rear of the existing home.
2.
2, the variance requested will not be contrary to the spirit of the ordinance because the house is located towards the rear of the lot, situated on the highest point due to the surrounding wetlands. So that location of the property is the only location where that could be built to satisfy all the other requirements.
I went and took a look at the property. In front is the often place for a septic, and that's in the front yard of the house. Then you have the house, and then there's this setback and a rock wall down the hill, which is the original boundary. And then, like, maybe 20 feet from that rock wall onto the other person's behind it, there's an active stream that goes. So, that's my observation. Okay, 3?
That through the granting of the relief by variance, substantial justice will be done because it will provide a safer ingress and egress to the rear of the house, and also it would be the second exit for the living level of the house. So it's really also a safety issue that we provide a exit and entrance to the property.
Number 4?
That by granting a variance, the value surrounding properties will not be diminished. The surrounding properties will not be able to even see the deck. It will have no real impact on the abutters property. And my point being, decks are allowed in rural agricultural districts, so it would be something that would be a privilege if we can have it.
5A?
5A, please describe the special conditions of your property that distinguish it from other properties in the area. The special condition is of the property, and it's kind of repetitive, but the houses sit on the back portion of the site, due to the wetlands, so it's on the high point, is the only place on that property where the house could be, put, just to meet all the other requirements. So we're really, we are asking to relax the setback requirement for the deck.
Okay.
No fair substantial relationship exists between a general public purpose or ordinance provision and specific application of that provision to the property. And once again, due to the sitting of the house on a lot which is within the back right-hand corners is at 25 feet. And the variance to implement that deck would be needed to get a good exit and entrance to that first floor of the living level of the house.
Aye, aye.
And how would it be a reasonable one to implement a safe exit from the second story of the dwelling, exit and also an entrance to that living level of the property?
And B. Both parts.
Please describe the special conditions of your property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, and that it is pretty repetitious, but the excessive wetlands are the key factor of that property being set to the back property line within 25 feet on that right-hand side. The 25-foot setback would significantly limit the safe evacuation from the second floor story of the home, so that's why we're requesting that.
And
We'd
the
be
people
able
live
to
there
be
is, how many people live there?
4 people, my son, his fiance, and my 2 grandchildren.
All right. Any questions for the applicant before I ask them to sit down?
Real quick, what year was the house, the dwelling built?
I think it's been there. I can't tell you, maybe 12 years, 12 or more years. We bought the property with existing foundation, septic were already existing. The previous owner had capped off the foundation and semi-lived there.
And it's obviously a single family.
It's single family, yeah.
And what happened to the old deck?
Yeah, it was pressure treated and it deteriorated. Yeah, well,
Okay.
Just curious, is there a reason why you're not duplicating what you originally had?
so that we could have a safer, that was really very steep and not safe. The new design will be coming off the backside and coming forward at a lesser grade of those stairs. Those stairs are very steep, were very steep, and actually they're pretty rickety as well.
Please have a seat. Okay, I'd like to ask if there's any proving abutters who wish to speak in favor of this application. Being none. Any disapproving abutters who wish to speak. Being none. Public at large wish to speak. Being none. Other boards wish to speak. Being none. Mr. Shelton, would you like to rebut anything from the abutters?
No.
Thank you. Okay. Let it indicate that Mr. Shelton did not want to rebut the non-responses from the public abutters. With that said, close the meeting. And it's, I make it 7:58. So, okay, if we could take it, could somebody make a motion in the affirmative for prong one?
I would like to make the motion to accept question one.
Second?
Any discussion? Okay with that, all those in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? 500.
Move to accept number 2.
Thank you,
Second.
thank you. That was Malcolm and Mark. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? 500.
Make the motion to accept number 3.
Thank you.
Second.
That was Stu and Mark. And discussion being none, I ask all those in favor?
Aye.
Abstentions? Noes? 500. And 4?
Move to accept number 4.
Second.
Thank you. That was Mark and Malcolm. And any discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those no? And abstention? 500. And number 5?
I'd like to make a motion to accept number 5 in its entirety.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Abstentions, noes, 500. Very good. Mr. Shelter, you have your variance.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Okay, we have a variance extension from a Carl Langdon. Russell Drive, this is sort of our, a certain case of variances that were done at a certain date period that are allowed to be renewed by a vote. So with that said, I'd ask for a motion to renew the variance extension for Carl Langdon.
I'll make the motion to extend the variance extension.
Okay,
Mr. Langdon.
second please.
Second.
Thank you. And any discussion? Being none, those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Abstentions, 500. Okay, and it appears we have minutes.
You have
another extension?
2 more extensions. One came in after the,
Oh, I guess I did the one that came in after.
no, the one came in after the agenda was published.
So are we doing
Cindy Rooney.
next, okay. With that said, same thing again, this is Cindy Rooney, and it's case 2707, and it's tax map 108-41, and it's on 67 Pondview Road. With that, I'd ask for a motion to accept the extension.
I'll make the motion to accept the extension.
Okay,
For
second.
Rooney's on Pondview.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion, being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? 500. Thank you. Now, we can get to the minutes.
And there's one for, from Bob Bailey,
You got all of them?
Robert Bailey.
I didn't see that in the
I
package.
haven't seen that. Oh. Yeah, that's
Right.
Decision with notice?
No. Not the last page, second to last page.
Oh, yeah, okay. Alrighty. This is a variance extension, case 2504. And it's for the Bailey Family Trust. And, let's see. That's good. I accept I accept the motion for extension.
I will accept, make a motion to accept the extension for Robert Bailey's Family Trust.
Okay.
Where's Hewitt Road?
Second.
Thank you. And, any discussion? Being none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And abstention. 500. Okay, now we can get to the minutes, right? We don't have Forrest here to scrutinize anymore. He's good at that.
What was the date on the minutes? April
April 4th.
4th?
April 4th, yeah.
Yeah, this is the borough property up by, right off 77. For that garage that we're looking for. I don't see anything wrong with the minutes. Everybody done reading?
Move to accept April
4.
4th.
Minutes.
Minutes.
Okay, second, please.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? With that, accept the minutes of April 4th. Then I will ask, is there any more business to come before the meeting? Don't believe so. With that, I'll accept the motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That sounds unanimous. For adjournment.